Welcome to the very first episode of Cocoon for 2026. And I'm so delighted to have Adi Nampreet from Adi Nampreet Yoga here as our first guest of the year. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us on Cocoon.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
I like to begin at the beginning, which is a pretty logical place to start. So please tell us, how did your journey begin working in the wellness industry, in the field that you're in now?
Oh, okay. So my journey into wellness was personal first, obviously, because I had loved teaching yoga, loved practicing yoga, sorry. And I was very heavily into vinyasa yoga. And the more I practiced vinyasa yoga, the more I realized that it was really on the physical level. It did have some emotional and mental and energetic levels to it, but I was feeling like I needed more. So I went to my first Kundalini yoga class, and I remember thinking that, oh, this is fantastic. This is really a great experience. It combined breath work, the asanas, the mantra, the chanting, meditation, and it created such a beautiful experience that embodied everything, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the energetic level. And at the end of the practice, I felt so much more connected to myself than I had for quite some time. So that's when I fully committed to, wow, I want to teach this. This is fantastic stuff. So I enrolled into a training program and became an internationally certified KRI Kundalini yoga teacher. And that's where my journey began. And so one of the most significant things, I think, to start my journey was being able to find the right people to start that journey. Yeah.
And so when was that, and how long have you been teaching now in your practice?
So practicing yoga on my own, well, that was quite many years, actually, maybe 20.
Yeah.
And then for Kundalini yoga, I've done two separate courses. So one I started in during COVID, when we were all locked down.
Yes.
And what else
time to do it.
Yeah. So I started one course back then, and then I just completed the KRI training last year. Yeah, I've been teaching Kundalini yoga as a business since I moved here to Inglewood in Southwest Queensland 5 years.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you were telling me before how you now have your own studio, and because you had so many people come to where you were renting your space, that you had to create a new space for all of your students to be able to join you.
Yes, that's right. So my husband is a fantastic man, and he built this shed, and it's a beautiful studio. He was creative enough to and make that light.
I love that.
Yeah,
so beautiful.
Yeah, and it was great because although it's taken a while for people to warm to yoga in this community, because it's quite an older style area to live, they have warmed to it now. And one of my most consistent and regular classes is seniors chair yoga.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
That's really great.
They're really.
And you're running your own business, which can be very hectic, and I think life in general can be hectic. So how do you maintain your energy levels to be able to successfully balance and juggle everything?
Okay, so that's a great question, and I think it's a question that every wellness practitioner should really look into before they start their business, because I got caught in the system of me wanting to do everything, wanting to get things done, thinking of more things that I could be doing, and trying to implement stuff before I actually really needed to have those things in place.
Yeah.
So for me, energetically, I have a sadhana. It's a daily practice.
Yeah.
It's called sadhana, and I do that every morning in the early hours between 3 and 6 p.m. And that is the time that I allow myself my own practice and my own presence and fulfillment to be done. And throughout that, that's where my creative flow actually comes out. So I can be sitting on my mat at the end of sadhana and I'm getting these insights into, okay, this will work better this way and this will work better this way. So I really make sure that my sadhana, my practice, is done every morning. It's a not negotiable. It has to be done. And another thing with ensuring that the energy is maintained, so that your presence for your students is for them, is to ensure that I have other ways of implementing things, like take the time out to go to the cafe with your friends and relax, and take the time to go out into nature, go for hikes, walk, ground yourself, do those things, because really, if you're not giving yourself this time, then how are you going to give it to your students?
That's so true. That's right. And I find too, when you are teaching a class, whether it's yoga, whether it's any class, your energy almost dictates the energy in the room. And so if you're feeling a bit lethargic, they're going to mirror that. And so it's really up to you to make sure that you're right. You're in a good position to be able to share the an upbeat energy and a positive energy, so that then they can experience that and reflect that back.
Yeah, that's right. Because everything is energy. So the subtleness of your energy combining with your students' energy is how it interprets how the class is going to be and stuff like that. So if you're not on your game, if you're not, feeling your nervous system is regulated enough, then you're not giving maybe what they need at that time.
Yeah, I agree. Now, this series of Cocoon, we always do like a theme. Last series, it was about wellness practitioners avoiding burnout, because they try and give so much that they end up like depleting themselves. And but this one, we wanted to focus it more on the topic of AI, because I mean, that's a real big sort of interest area for me in terms of my research and my practice. But it's really interesting to hear about how AI is impacting the wellness space, because it's impacting every industry. So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the rapid evolution of AI technology, and how is it sort of impacting what you do?
Yeah, right. So I've always been curious about AI, and I know it's been around since Google, right? So Google was some form of AI, and I've been the kind of person who, when I am curious, I'll jump down the rabbit hole and research and find out what I can. So, but when you've built your entire practice around authenticity and human presence, the connection with people, artificial intelligence, or AI, kind of feels counterintuitive. So with Kundalini yoga, it's one of the most energetically alive practices. Any yoga is. And the most important distinction I've come to realize is that AI cannot do what a wellness practitioner does. It doesn't hold space. Like when somebody walks through the front door and you can see that they've had a hell of a day, or they're really holding something tight within themselves, you can see that, and you can respond in subtle ways to that energy. So the energy transmission is everything between humans.
Yes.
And I don't think that AI could ever replicate that connection.
Yeah.
So what I think, though, is AI can do administration tasks. It can be like an ideas kind of man, and with content creation, it can come up with ideas where in your business strategy to help you to see different perspectives on where you want to be in the future, or what help with a program you might be creating at this point in time. So whereas in the past we've been kind of like our own marketers, we've been our own accountants, we've been our own content creators, and that's taken up a lot of time. I think that AI can help alleviate some of that.
Yes. And get you back to the actual human connection side of it, and the energetic side of it.
Yeah, which is really where we want to be, is in that area.
Yeah. And have you heard of any ways wellness practitioners, yoga teachers, other ways that they're using AI?
Well, I know that there's a lot of apps, and I've seen meditation apps where some of the yoga teachers are recording their voices and doing meditations that way, like yoga nidra meditations and things like that, which are really, really supportive, especially like if somebody is having trouble sleeping at night, that there's no yoga class happening. So yeah, listening to, I think it's called a meditation timer app, could be beneficial for that person at that time. So there are some really good apps out there that support people who need that wellness integration. There's also, I think there's apps that also support stress management.
Yes.
So yeah, so they track this or detect stress or something like that. But I think there has to be an area where the practitioner or that student realizes that these are apps and they're not taking away from the actual experience that you should be having with a yoga teacher or a therapist or something like that.
Real person who's qualified.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I use it sometimes. So I teach yoga too in the Satyananda tradition, and I know sometimes for yoga nidra we do sort of different visualizations, and often I'll ask my students before a class as I'm preparing, do you have any requests? And they'll focus on, they're like, oh, maybe today I want to think about clarity, or I want to think about staying present or something like that. And so sometimes I'll brainstorm with an AI tool around creating a visualization that's symbolic of that, and then I'll use that in the yoga nidra part, and it comes up with some really interesting ones. And I hope they don't think it's me like doing it, but some of them, they're like, wow, and I added my own creativity as well. Sometimes it prompts me to think of other things, so I don't use it like verbatim, but yeah, it's a good tool for sometimes you get stuck with the same sort of regimen in terms of your classes, and it sort of helps me to come up with other ideas.
Yeah, I like that too, because it comes from a different angle. So it shows a different perspective, and it comes in that way, and you go, oh, okay, so I could implement that. What I like to do with my AI is using ChatGPT is I'll write down what I would like to say, and then it always says it more eloquently.
Of course.
And I'm like, oh, and then, but then it also has, I don't know if you would call it an algorithm, where it starts to sentence and structure sentences with the same words that start. It'll say, we can blah blah blah, or we should blah blah blah, or we reach blah, blah. And they're always small sentences, and it's like, well, that's not how I would speak. That's not me. It's not my voice. So that's when it comes to me, to make it more authentic, I go over and I edit quite fully what AI has suggested.
What you can do is you can actually, if you've got a recording of your voice and get the transcript, you can then give that and to the AI, and then to train it and get it to then sound more like you, which is scary, but you can. but you still need to edit it. Always check and edit, of course, before you deliver it publicly.
True. I recently I got sick of ChatGPT. It just seemed to be writing the same thing in different ways each time. And so I ended up using, I think it's a Sintra AI is called.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's got 12, I call them minions, 12 little minions who do different, specialize in different areas of business. Like one designs websites, one designs content creation, another one's a business strategist and stuff like that. So you've kind of got yourself all the a virtual assistant kind of thing happening. And I thought, oh, this looks like fun. And so I bought it, and I'm just having a look into it now. And what I've come across is that it is kind of helpful, and it does remember my voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's it. Like, if you're going to use AI, you want it to look like you're not using AI. That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it's still at the stage at the moment where it's still doing its own writing, and it still hasn't effectively got my voice right yet. But it's better than ChatGPT not remembering who I was in the next chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I used the social media minion the other day, and I said, okay, write a few posts for me so I can put them up on social media. And I didn't like any of them. I think it's just
good. I actually like it when you say that, because it means that you're going in it with like a critical lens rather than going, that'll do, copy paste, out you go. That just terrifies me when people do that. So
yes, and I've seen it. I've seen people go, oh yep, or copy paste, and I've seen it in their posts, and as soon as I notice that it's AI, I stop reading and I scroll past. So the authenticity is lost in their posts. So when I and I think it's only because I've just started using the Sintra AI, and obviously it says in the write-up that it takes a while for them to recognize your voice and to start writing like you. Yes. So I didn't post any of the posts that came through because it was literally writing like an algorithm. Yeah. But I think if I stick to it, then the more it will sound like me. Yeah.
And in ChatGPT, I don't know if it's on only the paid one, but there is a switch where it's like for memory, and so then it will start to remember you across the as well. It's in the settings, so that can help too. But I'm looking forward to hear more about this new tool, because I haven't used that one before, and if it's good, I'll give it a go too. But you were talking about social media, and I wanted to ask, because I guess it can be really a tension with social media, because as a wellness practitioner, you need it to inform your students and to attract new ones and things like that. But then it can be such a time thief. And it can be very addictive, where you might post something and it starts to do well, and then you're just compelled to keep looking and checking and sort of thing, to see how it's going. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that's what
I think it's a human thing.
How do you balance it? How do you navigate the need to use social media with your own wellness and also staying present and authentic, like we've been talking about?
Yeah, so I think we have to be really, really careful with AI when we're using social media, as I was mentioning earlier. But when it comes to posting things, there is that trap. I've found myself 40 minutes later scrolling through other people's reels and on Instagram and on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that, instead of posting my own stuff and leaving it. So I have devised like boundaries, which I try and implement.
Good.
So now, because I'm busy, I do have a day job as well as this my own business. So what I try to implement is, if I'm putting in my own social media, then that's what I do. Just stay focused and get that done, and then step back from the computer, close it down. That's it. Leave it go. And I'm trying to train myself into not checking it all the time, and then instead making 1 hour per evening where I'll go in and I'll go through all of my social media channels and check how things are running. It is kind of hard, especially when you're first starting to do it, and you do get a lot of hits on a particular post. It's hard not to go back and go, oh, what's happening,
Yes. Well, it's what they're designed to do. And I mean, I'm not sure if you saw the lawsuit that happened in the US recently, where it was found that, Meta platforms and YouTube have been designed to keep you on there, and they're designed to be addictive. So it's it just actually plays on your serotonin and things like that to go back and check. So yes, so we have to deal with that as well.
There is actually a Kundalini Yoga Kriya that helps with the what do you call it, the radiation coming from the screens.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Yeah, which is really interesting that's available online.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you have any rules around, like, do you look at your phone or social media when you're about to go to sleep, or like do you have times where you there's like no phones in bedroom as I'm going to sleep, or any rules around that?
I do because my phone, I've set it up so that at 8 o'clock in the evening it turns itself down to no interruptions.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so no interruptions from 8 o'clock onwards.
Right.
The only thing that goes off at 4 a.m. is my alarm.
Yes.
So then the messages and everything come through around 5:30.
Yeah.
So I do my practice, my morning practice from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So, and then have a shower and start making breakfast or whatever. And then my messages come through and I sit down and eat and check it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a very healthy way to approach it. I wanted to talk to you as well about inspirational breakthrough. So you must see it with your students. Do you have a story, without giving away anyone's name or anything, but an inspirational breakthrough or transformation that you've experienced with one of your students?
Yeah, for sure. You kind of see them all the time, even throughout classes, you can see that when they're doing a meditation or chanting or something, you can see their face start to relax, and then you can see their body relax. And by the time they leave, they're kind of glowing and they're feeling great. You can see that. There was one experience, a gentleman, he's been coming for the last year to a chair yoga class, and he had some quite significant health issues come up. So he asked me for a practice that he could take home with him, as well as when he was coming to 2 classes a week, 2 morning classes a week, and he was traveling an hour to get here every day, or those 2 days. He was very committed, and he still is. So he he would do those classes, and he would go home with the content that I'd given him, and he would practice at home as well. So when he went for his operation, he came out of it very, very well. And then I think it was about 6 weeks later, he had to go and see his specialist, and they wanted to check on how everything was functioning and how he was traveling after the operation. And they ran all their tests, and the specialist said, "Oh, wow, this is fantastic. There's improvements here that shouldn't be shown for quite a few months yet." And he said, "What have you been doing?" And he told him, he said, "Well, I go to Kundalini Yoga twice a week, and I practice it at home as well." And the doctor said, "Well, keep doing it. It's amazing." And so, that was really, really lovely to hear that all the hard work that he's been doing, hard work, all the work that he loves to do on work himself, is paying off. It's beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and to get that extra endorsement from a medical practitioner, like that's fantastic.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And the good thing, I think, is in this community, it's a small community, and the doctors like this as an alternate to the medical industry, so that they allow I have another student, and she goes to the doctor quite regularly, and she mentioned that she wanted to do one of my programs. So he looked at the program. We work together, so it's really good. So he looked at the program, and he said, "Well, you can do the program, but you just need to readjust this part." Yeah. So it's really nice that the medical industry and the wellness industry is coming together on things like that.
Because sometimes it's more like, if it's just like, no, don't do that. They don't, like, some doctors don't even look into it. So, just being open to that collaboration, I think, is really admirable.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, it is, definitely.
I wanted to talk to you as well about goals. We ask about goals on this show, and there's so many different opinions about goals. Like, there's like a spectrum. So some people are like, they set their goals and they try and go for their goals, and they're really committed to them. But there's other people who are like, no, I just see how everything unfolds. I don't do goals, and both ways are valid. So I wanted to ask your position on goals. Do you set goals? And if so, we're like into April now. So are you on track for 2026 if you do set goals? And are you looking even further ahead to 2027? I can't believe I'm saying that.
It's coming so fast. Well, yes, I do set goals, but I set goals that are step-by-step kind of goals.
Smart.
Yeah, it's a lot easier and attainable, I feel like, especially for me, because sometimes I can lose focus, and I get thrown into a rabbit hole where I'll go, oh, let's try this instead, so the little step goals are the ones that work for me. And April 2026, yes, I am on track with my goals. I have a few more that I would like to attain in this first half of the year, and that is to start my meditation series with Rama TV school platform, which I have a meeting with the producer next week. So that'll be starting very, very shortly.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And then there's a few other goals in the pipeline, which are more like specialized training for students online and offline, so in person. One of the things is that I'd really like to focus on in the future this is kind of skipping ahead to 2027. Is talking publicly, like doing conferences and doing speeches and stuff, and not speeches, I don't know what you'd call it, like having podcasts and things like that done. Because I'm not so good at speaking, and
Well, you fooled me. I think you've done a great job.
I'd really like to develop that more and to be more confident speaking in large auditorium style groups. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's a very long-term goal. And I think that this opportunity here talking with you has been the beginning of that. So thank you for that.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for being here. And look, I have to tell you, one of the best tips I was ever given about speaking in public is that to actually go to the place before the people are in it and stand up on the stage, and then you don't have to present it or anything, but just because then you've been there before and it's not so big of a shock when you get up there and it's like, oh my God. So so it's actually, and that's worked really well for me because I believe it or not, I'm actually an introvert and I can turn on extroversion when I have to. But like I used to be so petrified of the same thing, and now I'm feel a bit more, much more comfortable because I've done it a lot. But just those little tips really help me to get through.
Yeah. So did you have the tip of envisioning your audience naked?
No,
or was that just
I don't know if that would have put me off, but no. But I think what I've done, what I do sometimes is like I just look at one person and there's always some really kind people in the audience who, when you look at them, they nod and they encourage you, and I just keep looking at those people. So, rather than, because there's some people they're on their phones or things like that, but I always just focus on the ones who are really listening and who are clearly, I mean, and you don't know if they're really interested or not, but they're just very kind and they'll nod and smile at you. And so, I just focus on those people.
Well, they have to be interested because they came.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's true. So, so that's what I do. So no nakedness, but more just focus on the kind people in the room.
And there's one other thing that I'd really, really like to work on, starting at, in the end half of this year and through to 2027, is gaining more of a relationship within Australia, because I have a lot of students in Europe and America, but not here at home so much. So I'd really love to try and organize more time to settle into getting an audience and building that relationship with people who would love to be students of Kundalini Yoga.
And I think doing that public speaking really helps. I think that's a great way to get people to know who you are and then follow you on social media and things like that. So the more that that'll actually work hand in hand.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. and podcasts and things too will help too, for sure.
Yeah, cool. Oh, that's great.
And so, like, I wanted you to look back now at the beginning of your career, because what did they say is what is it when you're looking back 2020 hindsight? I forget the saying. I'm mucking it up. But if you looked back now and could tell yourself anything at the beginning of your career, like give yourself any advice, what would it be?
Patience pays.
Yeah, goodness. That's good advice now.
So my teacher has always said to me, slow down, wait, patience pays. And that actually came from Yogi Bhajan. He was the one who brought Kundalini Yoga to the Western world from India in the 1960s. So, and my teacher knows me too well. She knows that I'm all gung-ho and I'll just jump in there and get things done and then think of new things and start to implement them. And then by the end of it, I'm feeling either burnt out or I need a rest and I need a break. So she's always saying to me, patience pays, patience pays. And I'm finally starting to learn it. So it's taken a while, but the repetition of patience pays, it's in my head now too. So I think that if I were to give any advice to a new wellness practitioner, it would be take it slow and easy. Patience really helps with working on your own vitality, your own presence and your own awareness, and then being able to focus on giving that to your students.
Yeah, that's great
Yeah.
advice. Thank you so much. I really loved our conversation. It's been so insightful and fun. And before we wrap up, do you have anything else you'd like to share with us? Any words of wisdom before we end today's podcast?
No, not really. I just want to say thank you for inviting me. I've had a good time too. It's been fun talking with you again.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Well, let's end that here. And thanks everyone for watching episode 10. And we'll be back next month with our next guest. And so thank you so much, Adi Nampreet from Adi Nampreet Yoga.
Thank you.